We had an insane weekend of UFC, a great fight night, and also a fight announcement that I'm really excited about in the near future. And I want to talk all about it. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night. This is MMA 365, the greatest UFC news YouTube channel. So be sure to subscribe, especially because Yuri Prohaska is eating Hot Pockets with a beaver in the forest, and they need something to drink. And the only way we can help them find a tasty beverage to quench their thirst is if you hit that subscribe button. Almost 95% of you watching are not subscribed, so if you are a watcher and you enjoy my content, then please consider hitting that subscribe button. Thank you. So, the first thing I want to talk about is this announcement came during the fight night yesterday. We'll be getting Jack Della Maddalena versus Carlos Prates, headlining a fight night in Perth. This will be May 2nd, so around 2 months from now. And this is the exact fight that I wanted. Um, JDM is coming off that loss against Islam, where he just got completely outclassed on the grappling, and Carlos Prates got a big time knockout over Leon Edwards. So this is just a pretty straightforward, at least on the surface, stand and bang for 5 rounds. Um, Someone will probably get knocked out. Um, and I feel like JDM is objectively the better striker. I think he's perhaps the best boxer in the UFC, at least in his division, um, in terms of just skill set. But Carlos Prates has completely game changing power. I mean, you need to fight basically a perfect fight in the stand up against Carlos Prates to win. And I think the fight that shows that best is Carlos Prates' fight against Ian Gary, where Gary won that fight convincingly over the span of about 24 minutes. But at the very end, Carlos Prates put Ian Gary in serious danger, and realistically, he was probably saved by the bell. Um, Prates did kind of run out of gas at the end. And that's something I am a little bit concerned about with him. I know Carlos Prates likes his ciggies, and that's objectively not very good for your cardio. In fact, it's one of the worst things you can do for your cardio. Um, so I do wonder, maybe Carlos Prates can switch to Zins or something. Nicotine itself doesn't have good cardiovascular effects, but probably almost certainly less harmful on the lungs. Because I do wonder about Carlos Prates' stamina, especially in a 5 round fight. Given that the last time he fought in 5 rounds, he was so close to getting a finish, but he ran out of gas. And I do wonder if he smoked maybe a dozen fewer cigarettes just over the course of his lifetime, would he have had the enough in the gas tank, a bigger gas tank, to punch out Ian Gary? Perhaps. We'll never know. But I am really, really stoked about this. This is the exact fight I wanted to see for both of these guys, and it should be very, very entertaining. And I'm glad the UFC is hosting this in Perth. Uh, and this is a great main event for a fight night. Uh, Again, because it is a fight night. We're not going to be getting probably too many ranked people on the card, but this is a great headliner. Just ideally, we get a few good co-main and featured fight. Give some Australian guys their chances to fight in their home country. The UFC has been doing that, but those cards have tended to be shallow, the international cards. Hopefully that isn't the case here, but the most important part is having a banger main event with high stakes, and they did exactly that. So, A plus, bravo. This fight should be cinema. And I do want to recap also yesterday's fight night. On the prelims, a couple women's fights happened with the performance of the or fight of the night. That was a fight with Regina Taryn. She looked really good. Um, she has a lot of hype entering the UFC, and those two women went to absolute war. Got a sizable bonus for it, so shout out to them. then Eileen Perez won her fight against Macy Chiasson. Eileen Perez at this point is probably has a title elimination bout in her near future. Women's bantamweight is extremely thin, but it's good that that division is progressing at least a little bit. I don't exactly know what's going to happen with Kayla Harrison's neck injury. Neck injuries are pretty serious, and at this point, it's been almost 2 months since that released, and I haven't heard a peep. Women's bantamweight at this point looks very shallow, but Eileen Perez definitely showed that she belonged. And then on to the main card. Just the last three fights I want to highlight. King Green knocked out Daniel Zellhuber. Uh, just looked like the better fighter the entire fight and landed a good string of punches to get the finish. UFC has put Daniel Zellhuber in several primetime slots. He opened up a main card against Michael Johnson previously. I believe he also opened up the Noche UFC card in the Sphere. I'm gonna say is stop trying to make fetch happen. Stop trying to make Zachary Reese happen. Stop trying to make Daniel Zellhuber happen. Okay? Maybe it does happen, but let it happen on the prelims. Okay? Because I don't think they're all that. No disrespect. But yeah, fun fight. Good for King Green. He called out Michael Chandler for a White House fight, and I think that's a good fight to make. Michael Chandler at this point, we know what he is. He's hanging on to the rankings by a thread. Two Americans, two entertaining fighters at the White House. Put him on there. Why not? Let's do it. Let's go for it. And Chito Vera lost to David Martinez. I just continue to be frustrated by Marlon Vera, man, because he has the talent, he has the kicks, but it's just the aggression, the bloodlust. Something is just missing that I feel like you need to succeed in the UFC. I mean, Chito Vera, he was getting just comfortably losing a decision, and then when he finally threw hands, he looked pretty good, but it was just too little, too late. So I feel like he really needs to change up his game plan. Maybe find some sort of aggression. I don't know where he will find it exactly. You can't buy aggression at the store, but maybe his trainers can find him something to be aggressive about. Maybe he can lose a bunch of games of league in a row before a fight. I don't know, but something needs to change for Chito Vera. And David Martinez, he had a good fight, so good for him for winning in his home country. Yeah, this was a fun fight, but frustrating to watch. Marlon Vera is so close yet so far. And lastly, the man of the hour, Lonnie Kavanagh. Who saw this coming? I didn't see this coming. To go on short notice against Brandon Moreno, fighting basically home field disadvantage at altitude, 5 rounds, and Lonnie Kavanagh didn't just win, he dominated Brandon Moreno. This was not close. And Kavanagh he looked really good in the stand-up, landing calf kicks, landed some pretty powerful punches, and Moreno just looked like he had no answer. Probably won one round, but still, this was a dominating performance from Lonnie Kavanagh. And what especially impresses me is doing this at altitude. Mexico City is 7,000 feet above sea level. I've been to Mexico City, I had a great time, but I remember walking up a hill, being like, I am out of breath, and I'm in pretty good shape. So that altitude can get you. But Lonnie Kavanagh went from gassing out against Charles Johnson in a 3-round fight to cardio mogging and just straight up mogging Brandon Moreno in a 5-round fight at Mexico City. Where did that come from? Maybe getting knocked out by Charles Johnson is really the secret sauce, becoming a successful fighter in the flyweight division. And I'm really happy about this outcome because flyweight is absolutely loaded at the top now. I mean, a month ago, it was like pretty clear 4 guys at the top, and now you have Kyoji Horiguchi cemented himself in the conversation, and so did Lonnie Kavanagh. Now, at this point, it's like 6 deep at the top, and all of those guys at this point are championship caliber. So we are in for a treat when it comes to the flyweight division over the rest of this year, maybe going into next year. I think that division's in a great place right now, looking like one of the best divisions in the UFC at the top. So, and we have Joshua Van and Tatuatara fighting in about a month. So we'll get some clarity as to who the champion will be. All in all, a great weekend for the UFC. That'll conclude this video for now. Be sure to subscribe so that Yuri Prohaska and the Beaver can find a delicious beverage to quench their thirst as they eat their Hot Pockets. Very important for you to hit that subscribe button. Thank you for watching.